So let us discuss about synchronization. What is this synchronization? When two or more threads needs to access a shared resource, they need some way to ensure that the resource will be used by only one thread at a time. The process by which this is achieved is called synchronization, right? So when two threads wants to access a shared resource, we need to make sure that only one thread at a time can access that shared resource, right? So let me illustrate this with respect to a small program. So let me write a class called call me, and inside this class called call me, I'll be writing a method called void call, and this method is going to take one argument of type string, right? Now with respect to our program, this method call is a shared resource where multiple threads wants to access this method. I repeat, with respect to our program, the method call is a shared resource where multiple threads wants to access this method, right? Now inside this method call, let me try to write one system.out.println statement, so which tries to print the message, right? And inside this method, I'm trying to make the thread to sleep for 1 second. That is 1000 milliseconds, right? So let me place this inside this try and catch block. Right? So let me print the description of the exception, right? So now inside the method call me, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to print the message. Then I'm making the thread to sleep for 1 second. Again, I'm trying to print the closing bracket, right? And let me write here print instead of println, right? Now let me write a class called sample, which implements which implements runnable interface, right? So why I'm writing a class called sample which implements runnable interface? Because I need to create multiple threads. So in order to create a thread, I need to write a class which implements runnable interface. So inside the class, let me write a constructor. Now inside the constructor, let me create a new thread. That is by creating an object of a thread class. Right? This will be storing in a variable called t. The type of t is nothing but it is thread. Right? Next, let me call start method. Once I call start method, control jumps. So once I call start method, the control jumps inside the run method. That is public void run. So inside the run method, what I need to do, inside the run method, I need to call this shared resource call method. So in order to call this call method, what I should do, I need to create an object of a class called call me. To the object of a class called call me, I can call this call method, right? Yeah. So now, so the object of a class call me, let me pass as an argument inside this sample method, right? And trg, right, comma, and then in order to call this call method, what I need to do, I need to pass a string value. So the string value what I need to pass to this call method, let me pass as an argument to this sample method, right? So let me make it as em. Now let me take, so now let me take two additional instance variable. One is call me and one more is string msc. Now inside this, let me assign target to trg and then msg to m, right? Now inside the run method to the object. So what's the name of the object? It is target dot, I need to call this method called call, right? So next call, and inside this call I need to pass an argument of type string, and this argument is nothing but is msg, right? So let me pass msg, right? Done. So now let me move to the main method. So inside the main method I need to create an object of a class called sample. So once I create an object of a class, control moves to the constructor, and this constructor is taking two arguments. One is object of a class called call me, and one more is string value, right? So let me create an object of a class called call me, right? Call me. So in order to create, I should use new operator. This let me store in a variable called c. The type of c is call me, right? So I need to pass c comma, and the second argument is a string, right? So let me pass a string called hello, right? And this entire object let me store in a variable called s1. Type of s1 is sample, right? Similarly, let me create one more object s2, right? And similarly, let me create one more object s3, and let me change the string to hello to pi, right? So for each object what I've created, a separate thread will be created, right? So now what's going to happen in this block of code? So now I've created an object of a class called sample. So once I create an object, control moves inside the constructor, and the code inside the constructor gets executed. Now inside this, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create a new thread, right? And then I'm trying to start this new thread. So once I start the new thread, the control goes inside the run method, and the code inside the run method gets executed. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to call a method called call method, which is present inside the class called call me, right? So now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to print the message called msg, right? So what's the value of msg? The value of msg is nothing but the hello which I passed here. This hello will go to m, and the value of m is nothing but it is msg, and this msg value I'm passing to this call method, and the value of msg is nothing but it is hello. This is true for first object. And similarly for the second object, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to pass a string called good, and similarly for the third object I'm trying to pass a string called by. In other words, for the first thread I'm trying to pass a value called hello, and for second thread I'm trying to pass a value called good, and the third thread I'm trying to pass a value called by. So here for the first thread, when I call target.callme, the code inside this call gets executed. Now the code for the first thread, what it does, it prints a message. So what it prints, so let me type here. It prints and square bracket, it prints the message that is hello, right? It prints hello, and then what I'm trying to do, I'm making my first thread to sleep for 1 second. Since my first thread is sleeping, what I'm trying to do, I'm making the second thread to start running. So since my second thread is start running, and my second thread is going to print, that is what it prints good. And finally, and then again I'm making my thread to sleep for 1 second. So when my second thread is sleeping for 1 second, and the third thread will start running, and what my third thread does, my third thread will print this as by, right? Now, so now, so once the 1 second gets expired, now the first thread will come. So once the 1 second gets expired, the first thread will start running, and the first thread is going to print this message. So it prints closing bracket, and similarly the second thread will print the closing bracket, and similarly the last thread will print the closing bracket, right? So now, so let me run this program and let me check. Okay, I've done a small mistake. Call me. Okay, let me save this. Let me run. You see that? Probably I didn't got. Yeah, I believe I've done a small mistake. Plus MSC, right? Now let me run again. You see that I got the same output. Hello, good, right? Bye, good, good. Say the same output, I got it. But this is not the what output I'm expecting. The output should come like this. That is, it should be square bracket, hello, and then good, and then bye, right? So this is what the output we need to get. But right now we are getting the following output. So why we are getting the following output? Because in the shared resource got called, the multiple threads are running, right? I repeat, inside the shared resource call, the multiple threads are running. In other words, the multiple threads are inside this shared resource call method, right? So that's why we are getting the following output. If we allow only one thread inside the shared resource, then we are going to get the following output. I repeat, if we allow only one thread at a time inside the shared resource, then we'll get the following output. In other words, the method call needs to be synchronized. So what do you mean by synchronize? When I say synchronize, we need to ensure that only one thread at a time should be present inside this call method. How I can achieve this task? So this task can be achieved by prefixing with a keyword called synchronize, right? For the same code, let me prefix with a keyword called synchronize. Now let me save the program and let me run again. All right. So now we see we'll get the desired output. You see that? So now I got the desired output. So since by prefixing with the keyword called synchronize, so what I have done, I'm making only one thread at a time to be active inside this call method, right? So this is one way of achieving synchronization. And there is one more way we can achieve synchronization, right? So let us see this. So let me remove the keyword synchronization here. And inside the run method, let me use this synchronized and that inside this synchronize, I want to synchronize the object called target, right? So let me place inside the parenthesis and let me open the flower base and let me close, right? So this is the second way where we can achieve synchronization, right? Let me run. Right, you see that I got the same output as above, right? So these are two different ways where we can achieve synchronization. One is by prefixing synchronized keyword for the method which you want to synchronize, and the second way is by placing the object inside the synchronized, right? I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Thank you.